So mic test, mic test, mic test. Should be good. Mic test, mic test, mic test. Alright, we straight. Okay, so...
We should be able to cook here.
Well, we did not eat. Oh my God.
Huh? Why are you
We gotta cook.
It feels kind of surreal to make people happy with something I made.
Her attitude completely changed after he grabbed her. I don't know we're going shit on.
Do you mind if we chat a bit?
Now there's something I never thought I'd hear you say.
Remember when we talked about what it was like for me growing up? Well, I thought it only fair that I also get to ask what you were like as a child.
None of your damn business, but since you want to know.
Maybe you missed the memo that was going around, but I can't remember anything of my past.
I know. Just whatever you can remember. There's gotta be something, right?
He had a mask on.
Let me think.
And a face only a mother could love.
Have I ever told you about my army days? Back when I used to serve under a Danon master?
Yeah, but that must have been after you were already grown up, right? Do you happen to remember anything from back when you were younger?
Actually, I remember I had a kid with me.
You had a kid?
No, of course not. The child's father was another soldier. Back in those days, we risked our lives for a master we'd never even seen. We just fought for them and didn't even question it. When that kid's dad died and I saw them sitting there crying, I felt this bitter, indescribable feeling. It was like I was drinking something toxic that I knew I shouldn't, but couldn't stop. It was strange. I never understood why I reacted like that. Soldiers died every day. It wasn't anything new.
What it tells me is that deep down, you were the same man then as you are now. You've never been able to accept injustice in the world.
If you keep talking like that, you're going to embarrass me. I wonder whatever happened to that master and poor kid. Not that there's any way of knowing now. You know, I just remembered that kid was good at sewing dolls. They gave me one once. It was a good luck charm to protect me.
Dolls? I'm looking forward to breakfast.
What the hell with breakfast? We got a ship to get on.
Morning. Ready to head out?
Man, I need to go buy every item I can get my hands on right now. Because once we leave, we might not be able to come back, and I don't know what they got on Legenis or whatever the hell that damn place is. Well, let me enhance this stamina ring. This ain't even worth it. I'm gonna just say that, man. It's really not worth it. Just doing 30 CP. Great gels, we got that. Ooh, life bottles, oh my god. Gonna need them for sure. Sapphire guard. Okay, they want us to buy those. Ain't no way.
You can never be too prepared. But did we have to spend so much?
Oh, shut up. Ain't like we coming back. Take the fuck off.
Well, it's the moment of truth.
This lady better hold together once we're up in the air.
Law, don't say that. You're going to jinx us.
Speaking of which, Alphen, this bucket of bolts got a name?
A name? You know, I'm not sure she ever had one. I never really thought about it.
Well, after all the trouble we went through to find her, we should give her one, right? I was thinking something like...
Fall Knights.
Huh?
It means owl in the ancient tongue. Literally, the one drawn to the skies.
I like it. Sounds perfect for our little escapade.
Not sure I'm completely convinced, but... well, it's as good a name as any. From now on, she'll be known as the Fall Knights.
Okay, people. We have two goals. First, we need to get to Legenis and make the Renans
I'm glad
finally leave Dan
I spelled that
alone.
name right.
And then, we need to figure out the truth behind Shion's thorns and find a way to save her. Sound good? All right, then let's go.
Let's go. Time to take off.
You know, I can still hardly believe it.
Believe what?
I mean, just look at it. The whole of existence, crammed inside a tiny frame.
Now that you mention it, I guess you're right. It does look more like a painting than a living, breathing world.
From up here, all the struggles we've been through feel so insignificant.
Nothing like realizing how small you are to put everything into perspective. Kinda makes the differences between the Renans and the Danans feel pretty small too, huh?
How much
Oh, look at
longer
her. She's a
until we
growing
reach
girl.
Legenis?
There are better ways to use your time than napping. We should take a moment to familiarize ourselves with the facilities on board before arrival.
Good idea. The starship may end up serving as our base of operations once we're down there. Think you'll be all right with the controls?
You mean the one set to automatic pilot? I dare say I'll manage. I'm basically just here to supervise.
In that case, she's all yours.
Everything okay, Shion?
Is something wrong?
No. I was merely thinking how it had been 7 years, that's all.
You mean since you became a lord and left Legenis? I guess even someone like you can get homesick, huh?
I am as prone to sentimentality as any other. Tell me though, you too have a history with Legenis. A traumatic one, no less. This trip will probably mean facing up to some difficult emotions. Doesn't that frighten you?
Well, it is a place where I took the lives of countless people. I'd be lying if I said I hadn't thought about it. But I can't keep running forever. The past is what it is. There's no changing that. But the future's what we make it.
I see.
Dohalim?
Forgive me. I was wrong to pry. We have more pressing matters to address. Come back and speak to me when you finish looking around the ship.
Alright. Guess you don't want to build a brotherly bond.
We'll be going to Legenis soon.
This must feel like a homecoming of sorts to you, huh? What was life on Legenis like back then? You know, before you came to Dana.
Let's just say, I don't have many happy memories. I've had thorns my whole life. For as long as I can remember. They called it treatment. But in truth, they were just using me as a guinea pig for their research.
You mean, they experimented on you?
That's right. All I was to them was a riddle to solve. They poked and prodded me, trying to figure out what triggered my thorns or changed the form they took. Day in and day out, every single day, one test after another. I'm still surprised they didn't try to dissect me. The look they gave me whenever one of them touched my skin. How could I forget it? Reeling from the pain, like I was a monster or something. Some existence, huh? A blight on any I touched. Helplessly complicit in their pain. I thought things couldn't get any worse. But then they did. I started to have nightmares, visions of the coming apocalypse. Is it any wonder I lacked a cheery disposition? Unable to so much as touch another soul. Loneliness was my best friend. Sure, I survived, but with the knowledge that one day I'd be swallowed up by oblivion. And that's when it hit me. If I was going to die, then it should mean something. If I have to sacrifice myself to save the world, so be it.
I'm sorry.
You
I
need
didn't
to touch
mean to
somebody.
make you relive that.
You know, open your eyes.
No, it's fine.
To a
I'm in a
whole
much
new
better
world.
place now.
You say it's your destiny to die so that others can live. But why not the other way around? Why shouldn't we be the ones dying to save you?
Are you crazy? Why would you sacrifice your life for...
That's exactly my point. Why should you have to give up your life just because you drew the short straw in the destiny stakes? How is that even right? It's that logic that's used to justify slavery, as if some of us were just meant to be sacrificed. This struggle was never about saving only ourselves. But that doesn't mean we have to give up our own lives to save everyone else's either. If we're doing this to protect people,
Well, you never been in love before,
we're
have you?
doing this to save the world from destruction. Then that has to include saving each other as well.
A world free of sacrifice. That's what you've been fighting for all along, isn't it?
Not just me. We're in this together, remember? This fight is yours too, Shion. If we're going to win, everyone has to win. There can be no room for losers in this fight. Now I see it. The true nature of our struggle.
A victory without losers. But that means that a Danon victory over Rena can't be the end. Do you think we can pull it off?
You bet we can pull it off. We have to. It's the only hope we have of things ever changing.
Yeah, you're right. No one's ever changed the future without aiming for the stars. We can do this. Together.
Alright. Where's everybody else at? Oh, look like we interrupted
Alfred,
something.
listen to this! So Law and I were just talking and...
Hey, shut up!
What's got Law all flustered?
Only that he's afraid of flying, the big baby. And after all that fuss he made about naming the ship, too.
Hey, I never said I was scared. I just think it's, you know, a little unsettling how we're going to be cruising through space in a glorified tin can. That's all.
It's a starship, dummy. That's what it's supposed to do. I don't think there's anything strange about it.
Well, maybe you're the one with the problem then.
Guys. I'm no expert, but I think we can trust Renan technology. It got me to Dana in one piece, remember?
Oh, that's a good point. If you think so, Alphen, it must be okay. Don't you agree, Law?
Hard to argue with that, seeing how you hitched a ride in one of these things before, Alphen. It's just wrong, okay?
Tuh. It's just wrong. Didn't explain how it was wrong, it's just wrong. logic, though. Of course, the last one would be all the way in the back of the damn ship. Make sure there ain't no weapons or anything I'm missing. Speaking of which, I'm getting tired of this little. Hold on.
You okay? Feeling airsick?
Actually, now that you mention it, not at all. These starships are a remarkably smooth ride, all things considered. Nothing like being at sea, thank goodness.
Glad to hear it. That device there caught your eye, huh?
I was just wondering what it is. It looks big enough to fit a person inside of it.
It's a healing pod. It fixes injuries and illnesses.
Oh, you don't say. That should definitely come in handy if any of us get injured while we're down there. Alphen? Was it something I said?
No, I was just thinking back to when I escaped Legenis, that's all. What with the ceremony and losing control, I was a total mess. Naori laid me inside here.
So, you're saying you got in this thing straight after escaping? But that mean... you were inside for 300 years?
Yes, it sounds crazy, I know. But don't even ask me why I stayed asleep all that time.
That's definitely quite some lie-in, all right. But still, whether you meant to or not, I sure am glad that it's this century that you finally woke up in.
Yeah, everybody says that.
With the amount of fighting we've done, we would have never made it this far without you. And not only that, but... Alphen, can you recall back to what it is that I said to you? Back when we left Menancia? About the dream of coexistence, and needing to learn what it entailed?
Of course. That's why you came with us, right? To learn what you couldn't at home.
Even in that time, I was well aware that what I was living was a lie. But at the same time, I also felt really compelled to fulfill my brother's wishes. I'll always remember him fondly. But the coexistence we're fighting for isn't for him. It's for people now. And those still to come. The world's bigger than just Menancia. My dream is for all Danans, wherever they might be, to be free. If I've learned anything on this journey, it's that. And the one who brought me along was you, Alphen.
Yeah, you know Shion already got dibs on that, right?
Well, we're not out of this forest just yet. You should probably save your...
I know. But whatever we find when we get down there, I'm through looking the other way.
Kisara.
Probably getting a little ahead of myself, huh? Let's take things one step at a time.
Is everyone about ready? We'll soon be making preparations to land.
Before we do that, just what exactly should we expect when we get down there?
Kisara has a point. Now that I think of it, I don't know the first thing about Legenis.
I'd like to hear more too. It's been centuries since I was last there, and they didn't exactly give me the grand tour.
Very well. First and foremost, Legenis was the base of operations in charge of the crown contest on Dana. Of course, it also happens to be a city in its own right, complete with its own independent society. Its social structure is based on a strict hierarchy. Put simply, the strength of an individual's astral arts carries great weight.
Enough to determine someone's social rank, you mean? But astral arts are innate, right? So people's positions are fixed at birth.
They can be honed with the right training, and there are admittedly other factors at play. But yes, that's basically the gist. As a result, family lines that churn out lords and their contenders wield disproportionate influence, and those lineages are treated as nobility.
Those capable of only weak astral arts are effectively an underclass, denied the right to descend to Dana even if they wanted to. Still, even the lowest rung on the Renin ladder is considered superior to being a Danon. Keep that in mind down there.
Thanks for the warning. As a lord, Dohalim must have been pretty high up in the pecking order, right? What about you, Shion?
Come on, you've seen her skill with astral arts. You really need to ask?
Fair point.
On arts alone, you're right. I'd have been sitting pretty. But you're forgetting my thorns. They weren't exactly an invitation to high society.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's refreshing to be around someone who says what they're thinking. Life's less complicated that way.
Jeez, give backhanded compliments much?
Wait a second. Are you? He is! Lost blushing!
I am not!
Of course, separating people into castes based on something arbitrary like arts is discrimination at its worst. As if such simplistic criteria could ever be a measure of someone's worth.
So this Red Woman, are we expecting to find her on Legenis?
I would wager so. Legenis is too deeply involved in all this to discard the possibility. Chances are she's also connected to the Renis Alma being stolen from us in Pelegion.
If the Renis Alma is being used to exploit Dana, we need to take it back at all costs.
That Red Woman's got a lot to answer for. Just as well I've got a ton of questions.
Oh, made it somewhere.
We're about to land. The descent could be a little bumpy, so brace yourselves.
If there are clues about your thorns out there, Shion, we'll find them.
What type of space colony is this? That whole thing looked like a broken promise.
There's no one here. I wasn't expecting a welcome mat, but still.
Legenis's infrastructure is largely automated. Besides, people won't be expecting incoming traffic while the crown contest is still underway.
Do you think anyone realizes that we're here?
We may not have received a royal welcome, but I doubt our entrance went unnoticed. Don't let your guard down.
I really hope we don't have to fight anybody while we're here.
So now what? We've come all this way on a hunch that this Red Woman is here, right? And if we're lucky, the Renis Alma too. Any idea where we should start looking?
There is an area of the city that is accessible only to the Sovereigns, known as the Forbidden Zone. That seems as good a place as any for us to start.
Forbidden? What are they hiding?
I don't know, hence my desire to find out. Fortunately, we just so happen to have a Sovereign in our midst. In any case, changing the shape of a huge structure such as Legenis would have required an immense source of power.
Then you think that source might have been the Renis Alma?
Precisely. Alphen said that he remembered the Renis Alma being used in the spirit channeling ceremony 3 centuries ago. Whatever the ceremony's purpose, if preparations are underway for it to be held once more, then the Renis Alma might be in the same place as last time, possibly together with the Red Woman. Hiding something of that worth in the residential quarters would only court trouble. In which case...
It stands to reason we should be looking somewhere normally out of bounds. Is that it?
Indeed.
But it's been over 300 years since I was made a sovereign. You can't seriously think I'll be able to waltz right into the place after all this time.
There's only one way to find out. If there's even a chance you can get us in, I say we give it a shot.
Shion's right. Who knows? We might even find a clue to her thorns while we're at it.
All right. It's not like we're swimming in leads, so let's try to track down the Forbidden Zone.
Okay.
Beyond that wall
Made
lies
it.
a city full of Renans.
How's this?
Capital city.
Oh, take off. It's going backwards.
To live, no
We
less.
don't want to do that.
Who knows what we'll find on the other side?
Wait, are they literally in space right now? Don't know how they breathing, but I ain't asking questions. Video game logic. Let's keep going. Place looks ravaged.
What in the world?
This being Renan territory, I was prepared for a lot of things to look different. But this is a bit more than I anticipated.
The very foundations of the city have shifted. What could have caused this?
When Legenis changed shape, it must have had an effect on the interior too.
Maybe when they sent the wedge down to Dana?
But they wouldn't move around the places where people live. These are their homes, right?
Yeah, something like that.
I would think the citizens themselves didn't have much say in the matter. Either way, locating the Forbidden Zone just became that much trickier.
If they can talk to whoever to get any
Don't
information
hurry.
out of them.
Is that you?
Oh.
Avakir, I'm glad to see you're well.
So it is you! But why are you here? Shouldn't you be down on Dana participating in the crown contest? And these people...
So you haven't heard what happened on Dana then?
Heard what?
Someone you know?
An old friend.
Hey, Dohalim, don't tell me you've started keeping company with...
They're with me. More importantly, what's happened here?
I'm really not sure. The city's foundations began to shift without warning, and now everything looks like this. We're all waiting for the Sovereign to tell us what's happening, but so far...
Avakir, listen to me. We're looking for the Forbidden Zone. Do you have any idea where we might find it?
The Forbidden Zone? What business could you possibly have there?
You asking too many questions.
The less you know, the better.
You're just the same as ever. I wish I could help, but what with the changed topography, I can barely locate my own home. Let alone the Forbidden Zone.
Very well. It looks like we'll have to find the way there ourselves.
Have you seen Faria yet?
No.
I see. Well, nothing much has changed with her. If anything, she's probably even more...
I can well imagine.
Why did you come back?
Mind your business.
You know it can only result
why.
in pain for you both.
I've no doubt of that.
Mind your business, Four Eyes.
You really are the same as ever. Fine, I understand. Just don't say I didn't warn you. And take care of yourself. Okay, Do?
So, did you say okay, dude? The language is about as confusing as that jacket dress you got on.
So who's Faria?
Law?
If what Avakir said is true, it would seem the people of Legenis are being kept in the dark about what's happening down on Dana.
They seem to be just as clueless about what's going on up here in their own world. Despite the fact that it's actually here that the wedge originally came from.
We need more information. Let's talk to the citizens, see what we can find out.
While we're at it, we can ask them about the Red Woman, too.
And don't forget about finding the way to the Forbidden Zone either.
Let's leave the talking to Shion. We can't have a bunch of Danans poking their noses around.
Good idea. I think that's for the best.
I shall assist.
You sure?
Being a lord on Legenis has its advantages.
Right. Then we'll leave it to you two. The Danans among us should probably keep our heads down.
What if people freak out?
I shall explain it away by saying I'm leading you.
What are we, dogs?
Oh, wait, you want us to talk to the guy? Oh. The bald one.
Oh, dear me. What an unspeakable mess this has all become. Just look at the state of our city. Even the Zeugles have stopped heeding our commands. Whatever did we do to deserve this?
You really have no clue what might have caused this?
Would that I have. Alas, there was no warning, no prior decree. His Highness must have deemed it unnecessary for us to know. We have no choice but to grin and bear it. But do my eyes deceive me? Could I really be standing in the presence of his lordship, Dohalim of the House Ilkaris? I believed he was on Dana.
Your eyes do not deceive you. It is I, one and the same. I have returned to fulfill a special duty, the details of which I cannot divulge.
As your lordship wishes. First Legenis mutates beyond recognition, now this unexpected visit. The Sovereign's plans are inscrutable indeed. The Ilkaris house has produced a great many lords over the centuries. I shall be praying for your victory in the latest crown contest.
Your good wishes do me an honor.
Can I fall down here? Nope. Ooh, we do have a chest. 3 strawberries. You two washing windows? What? I'm gonna say washing windows at a time like this.
Your lordship. Oh, what a great honor it is to finally meet you. I descended to Dana during the last crown contest also. Alas, when the contender I was backing failed to clinch the title, I returned. I witnessed the deaths of so many slaves.
Indeed.
Sorry to interrupt, but we're looking for a woman dressed all in red. Have you seen anyone of that description?
All red, eh? No, I can't say I remember anyone like that. I imagine she'd stand out somewhat, too.
Yeah. What about down on Dana during the crown contest? You didn't see anyone like that hanging around the lord you were serving?
What's with all these questions? I've never seen her, okay? Not recently or otherwise. Why do you want to find her anyway?
Never mind. Forget I asked. Sorry to take up your time.
So it's 2 down. Does she know anything?
Is everything okay? You look a little lost.
Hmm? Oh, yes. I can't seem to find my way home, is all. I was just about to make my umpteenth attempt at a new route.
I was hoping to head this way myself. The situation is a real pain, huh?
I suppose the Sovereign knows best. I daren't stay here too long, though. A lower caste can only linger around these parts for so long before I outstay my welcome. I was hoping to avoid it, but maybe I'll have to go that way after all.
You mean you know another way round?
Lord Dohalim Ilkaris! But how? Last I heard, you were in Dana competing in the crown contest.
You're asking too many questions.
Strange, isn't it? If you know another route, we'd be grateful if you could tell us.
But of course. Please forgive me. There's a wall that sprung up ahead of here, with what looks to be an entrance in it.
It's worth investigating, at least. I shall go and assess the situation. In the meantime, wait for me here. If it looks safe, I'll come and let you know.
You'd really do that for me? A lord troubling himself for someone of my lowly status?
Our lot in life is of little consequence. We are both Renan, first and foremost.
Oh, why yes, my lord. Thank you.
Well, we've canvassed the city for information. What do you think?
No one has the faintest idea what's happened to the city after all. They haven't heard the news about the crown contest either.
You'd think that info would easily find its way up here. Has it always been like that?
Not to this extent. Which would indicate that something's suppressing the truth. That Legenis is under some kind of control.
Given everything that's happened to their city, the people here seem weirdly okay with it all.
Yeah, that one guy even said his Zoogle had stopped listening to him. If that's true, these people are in big trouble.
Everything that happens here is attributed to the Sovereign's will. It's the way people have been conditioned. Their belief runs deep. Nothing happens devoid of a reason. To them, it's all part of the Sovereign's grand plan.
The Sovereign's plan. There is one thing I'm still not sure about. Just who is this person ruling over Legenis?
The Sovereign, of course. He rules from Rena while presiding over both Rena and Legenis.
Without the lords or anyone in the middle doing his dirty work? Isn't Rena at least the same size as Dana? That's a pretty big dominion for one person to rule over. I would have thought ruling Legenis alone would be difficult enough.
The points you make are valid, though I confess I'd never given it much thought before. Here, the Sovereign's total authority is as natural as night turning to day. Come to think of it, I know nothing of the nature of how Rena itself is. Shion, have you ever been... No, forgive me. Have you met or crossed paths with, or even heard of someone who's actually made a visit to the homeland?
No, I haven't.
Neither have I. In which case, I would imagine that... But no, surely not. Can it really be that no citizen of Legenis has ever been there?
Hold up, what are you getting at, Dohalim?
Assuming what I believe to be correct, it's possible that no one on Legenis has ever laid eyes on the actual Renan homeworld itself. No one but the Sovereign, that is.
But what about trade and communication? There's got to be a flow back and forth, surely.
Not if the Sovereign is imposing his will on Legenis single-handedly. It could be a one-way street.
But
So
I
let's go
thought
down
you
the
said
street.
that the Sovereign's all the way over on Rena. If that's the case, can he really rule directly over Legenis from so far away? What if something were to happen to the city, like now?
I'm beginning to wonder what the nature of this Sovereign even is. Alphen said he was forced into the role, right? Just before the ceremony. But Sovereign is also the title given to the almighty Renan ruler. So which one is it?
Whoever wins the crown contest inherits the throne from his or her predecessor, before becoming ruler over all of Rena and Legenis. Thereafter, that individual is known as the Sovereign. Though, it would appear that the current ruler has gone silent. As for how Volron factors into all this, at this point, I no longer know what to believe.
3 centuries ago, I became the Sovereign here on Legenis. No, not just became, I was forced to. Me, a Danon. 300 years later, we cross paths with Volron, who also bears the Sovereign's crest. That's not the only thing we have in common. We both became Sovereign without winning the crown contest.
Do you think Volron was made Sovereign for the same reason? Because of that ceremony?
I can't say for sure, but it certainly sounds like it.
But that would mean that two sovereigns would need to exist at any one time. One whose job it is to rule, and the other for ceremonial purposes. We never did see Volron's body back in Ganath Haros. Is a new ceremony underway with Volron at its center this time? Could that be what's causing all this strange activity here?
Wait a second. You don't think Volron and the Red Woman are working together, do you? The ceremony can't go forward without the Renis Alma. The same one that the Red Woman stole.
There's something else the ceremony needs. A maiden. And unless there's another one out there aside from me...
Questions, questions, and yet more questions. Ones that it seems will remain unanswered, until we can establish the Sovereign's identity.
If the Forbidden Zone really is off-limits to everyone but the Sovereign, that seems as good a place as any to start. For the sake of liberating Dana, too.
Then it's decided. That's where we need to go.
One of the citizens mentioned a passage that she thought might lead to another section of the city. It could point us in the right direction. Let's go find it!
And we just left a cutscene.
With nobody left to run the show, I wonder what the people here are supposed to do. I mean, they're sovereigns up on the Renin homeworld, and all their lords were sent to Dana.
But Dohalim was a lord, right?
Only current acting lords have power. Renin society is quite strict about such matters.
Even if the other lords were still around, I doubt they'd be able to do much about the situation.
I wonder what they'd think if they were here to see Lenegus now. Balsif, Ganabelt, Almadria, and Volron. Now that I think of it, aside from Dohalim, we know next to nothing about the other lords.
Well, yeah, why would we? To us Danans, they were just enemies we needed to overthrow. Nothing...
I know. But seeing Renins in their own city, going about their day-to-day lives, it gets you thinking.
It feels strange to imagine the lords living here too, you mean?
Yeah, a little.
If you're that curious about them, why not try inquiring with some of the locals? Every lord in their household has their share of supporters here on Lenegus. And luckily for us, the people here are unaware of the events on Dana, which means they should be more inclined to talk to us.
With the lords. The hell? I'm doing all right. Into action.
This area doesn't look as badly damaged as that other district we went through.
Indeed. The effects of Lenegis' transformation appear to be less pronounced here. Or, viewed another way, this area was simply luckier.
There's something I just don't get.
What is it?
The crown contest itself has always gone ahead as planned, right? In which case, the current Sovereign of Rena should be whoever it was that won the previous contest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, who was it then?
Hanfried Milgras, the former Lord of Cislodia, if memory serves.
So then this Hanfried whatchamacallem, he's the current...
The last I heard, yes. Though, admittedly, I haven't actually seen him since the end of the previous contest.
You're saying that ever since becoming Sovereign, he's never actually shown himself on Lenegus?
I guess over holocom maybe, but not in the flesh. Same thing goes for the Sovereign that came before him.
Now that you mention it, I don't recall anyone ever visiting Lenegus from the Motherland, Sovereign or otherwise.
And that never struck you as a little bit odd?
When you live here, it's as if you're conditioned not to notice all these strange quirks and discrepancies. The question is then, by whom? And to what end?
A new Renis Alma is supposedly created to coincide with every crown contest, meaning each victor is awarded their very own. In other words, if that's true, there should be as many of the things out there as there have been contests.
True, but going on what we witnessed in Pelegion, it didn't look like the sort of thing that could be made to order. But if even the victor's speeches have been part of some grand deception, then where are they? Quite frankly, I'm not even sure what to believe anymore.
You and me both. Though we are Renin by blood, neither of us even knew that such a thing as a Dark Master Corps existed, remember?
With any luck, the Forbidden Zone might give us some answers.
No use standing around here chatting about it then.
Okay. Sorry, I checked something on my phone. Damn, another cutscene?
Doe?
Faria.
Varia? Isn't that the person that Avakir guy was...
But why are you here? Wait. Don't tell me you've given up on the crown contest and come crawling back home from Dana already. Nothing
Damn,
to
everybody
say?
just nosy? Shit.
Even though you were willing to kill Tarnigan to secure your position as Lord, you still...
Kill?
I'm here to take care of something. If you wish to continue this conversation, I only ask that you wait until I'm finished.
Oh, of course. You always did prefer to take the coward's way out. Even after 7 years and living on that Danon rock, you haven't changed one bit.
Man, hit her in the head with a stick or
But let
something.
me tell you, I haven't changed either. Not a day's gone by the past 7 years that I haven't hated you.
Okay.
If killing me will bring you peace, then so be it.
Dohalim, what the hell are you saying?
First, I have business to take care of. If it's vengeance you seek, I will grant you it. But you must wait. My sins are legion. Let me finish what I came to do. Then you have my word. I will let you do whatever brings you peace.
Nosy bunch.
Sure, that's it. Run away like always. You don't even have the courage to die. No wonder you leave it to someone else. You're just a coward!
So we clearly got a case of bitter bitch syndrome. That's why you're breathing hard. Scared bitch. How dare she?
Dohalim.
I apologize that you had to witness that.
Is it true? What she said about you killing someone?
Each of us have our pasts. I am no exception.
Before, back in Menancia, you mentioned having taken a friend's life over the throne. Is that what she meant?
The mistakes I made there were not my first, and may not be my last. I will say no more.
Did you mean what you said? About letting her take your life if she wanted to?
You're worried about the wrong things.
She has more right to my life than anyone.
But you can't just...
Shut up.
Whatever happens, I have sworn to put an end to the crown contest, and to ensure continued coexistence in Menancia. I have no intention of expiring before I do so. There are far too many questions I still seek answers to. Besides, you have just as much reason to kill me as she does.
Dohalim!
Forgive me. Some things are best left unsaid.
What's this? More strawberries? Orange gel. Needed that. Nothing over here. Damn, more fucking brown color. Ooh, that's fancy. You know what? Let's change the teams up. Ooh, you know what? Dang, I gotta put the arts back on. Ooh, forgot. We all good. And in the box, tofu. And another cutscene.
Wow, this place is beautiful!
Yeah. It must be some sort of rest and leisure area for the locals.
You think? Man, these Renan sure know how to live it up, don't they?
Is something the matter, Dohalim?
Before I went down to Dana, my friends and I, we used to gather at this very spot and play music together. Avakir, Faria, and Tarnigan. That was a lifetime ago now.
Tarnigan. He was the one that Faria mentioned, right?
He was once my dearest, closest friend. As well as Faria's betrothed. Despite Faria's lower-class upbringing, she possesses a tremendous talent for music. Entranced by her playing, I helped her overcome her sense of inferiority and introduced her to Tarnigan and Avakir. It was a time of great joy. 4 people bound only by their love of music, with no care for social standing. Only the next song, the next melody.
Oh, it's the 4 of them. They was in a fucking...
A friendship based
a
on
band.
mutual respect in a society where everyone is a prisoner to their social class. You really are different, Dohalim.
I suppose it's natural you would see it as strange.
I would have, once. Now, I think the idea of breaking away from society's constraints and choosing your friends based solely on affection is something beautiful that's worth cherishing. Besides, it was that way of looking at the world that laid the foundations for coexistence in Menancia.
Your praise does me too great an honor. I was merely following the wishes of my own heart. And even then, it only lasted until the crown contest began. After that, Tarnagin and I became fierce competitors for the position of Lord. Tarnagin had fallen for Faria. By becoming Lord, he aimed to wrest her from her humble origins and raise her to the highest echelons of society. But fate was not so benevolent.
What happened?
Tarnagin was no match for me in combat. On a level playing field, he wouldn't have stood a chance. But he was desperate and low on options, and he couldn't stand the thought of defeat.
You mean he resorted to dirty tactics to try to win, right? But then why does Faria think... Wait, don't tell me she doesn't know.
Absolutely not.
How could I tell her? Combined with the trauma of losing her beloved, and by her friend's hand, no less. She would have been devastated.
So instead you let her go on hating you, so she could use that hate as a crutch for her grief?
That's not the same as running away, though.
It is exactly the same. Unable to face the loss of my friend and the burden of my duty. Instead, I decried my fate and looked away from what I'd done. As for what happened after, that you already know.
But if you hadn't become Lord, Menancia wouldn't be what it is now. The Danans there would still be suffering under Renan oppression like before.
Shion's right. What other lord would have treated me as you did? Anyone else and I would have been dead long ago. You've saved so many people, Dohalim. You saved me. It's thanks to you that I'm here today. So, try not to blame yourself. The burden you've placed on your own shoulders is too much for anyone to bear.
Frank as always. But I shall do my best to heed your advice.
Oh, that's cute.
Do you think he'll be all right?
Yeah, I think so. He's got Kisara.
It's important to have someone like that.
I didn't realize how difficult it is just to be there for someone.
Sometimes just knowing someone's on your side can be enough. And he knows, Shion. I promise he does.
I hope you're right.
And he just eavesdropped on the whole damn thing.
Alphen.
Yeah?
I never appreciated until recently just how much you were always there to support me.
It goes both ways. You've helped me keep going more times than
Oh, he the plug.
count.
So tofu, open, peach try. I don't want to sell anything. Oh no, he ain't the one with the weapons.
I still want.
Oh, we got a weapon for us right here. Gladius. Oh shit. Rending Titan Fang. So we're gonna be farming for a little bit. Oh, she got a big ass cannon. God damn. We gotta get him a new weapon. Oh, we got. Okay. It looked dope though. I like the way that stick looked. But that middle does not look supportive. So I got her everything for this. And I just bought her that damn book. Radiant Light 3. The Pink Pearl Sector. That's a creative name.
Say, thank you.
I see a medic and supply officer over there. If they know you're with me, they'll likely offer their assistance.
And combo points. Dark mark. What the fuck is the dark mark? Makes you easier to detect. Okay, no, nobody give a damn about that.
Thanks for waiting, everyone. Come on.
You okay, Shion?
What's wrong? Do you not like the cheese fondue that you made?
Yeah, I'm used to seeing you more excited about food.
You're not feeling sick, are you?
No, I'm fine. It's nothing like that. It's just...
What?
I guess I just don't understand what the appeal is. We could just as easily put everything on a plate and pour the cheese on top of it instead.
I suppose it lies in being able to decide exactly how much cheese you want. There's also something to be said for enjoying how it all turns out. It's fun.
That's fine and all, but I wish the plate-to-mouth time was shorter.
I think I understand. You don't like having to put in so much effort into eating something, do you?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Actually, now that I think about it, you're a way less fussy eater than you look, Shion.
In my book, there's no one right way to eat a meal. Tuck in, take your time, be dainty or devouring. As long as you enjoy the food.
There's no need to stand on ceremony while we're out.
Yeah, you're right. In that case...
I've never seen someone dump that much cheese on a meal before.
Oh, I know somebody who cheesed it up. All right, here we go. After an hour of dialogue and cutscenes, we're finally getting to some damn action. The hell? Oh, damn, they're all fancy.
Legenis soldiers.
Any way we can avoid fighting them?
That all depends on them. Whatever happens, be ready.
Well, there's an answer to your question.
Well, so much for them not wanting to fight.
Oh, I am Lord Dohalim of Elder Legenis. I command you.
Threats to the city must be erased.
No. Have they been brainwashed too?
Brainwashed or not, if they want to fight, they've got one.
I'm out of ammo.
Here I come.
Here goes.
Locked and loaded.
Rising
one.
It does it.
Here I come. Strike.
Reload.
They
Here I come.
Take this.
I'm not done.
I'm on.
Try this.
Now you see what I can do.
You're mine. Dragon Force.
This ends now.
Consider yourself finished. No, double demon fast.
Another incantation ruined. Elusive deity.
those soldiers seem different from the citizens we've come across so far.
Yeah, they weren't big talkers, that's for sure. They just attacked without warning.
They weren't in the least bit fazed by Dohalim's presence either.
Indeed. They seem to recognize us as enemies, nothing more. And yet, traditionally, Lenegus hasn't been high on threats. A few frenzied Zeugles during experiments here and there, but not much else.
Their glazed-over eyes reminded me of the soldiers and slaves we met back in Ganath Haros. The ones in blind devotion to Volron.
I've never seen anything like that here on Lenegus before.
Maybe someone doesn't want us here, and the soldiers are their way of letting us know.
What with the Red Woman, the Sovereign, and Volron, we're starting to develop quite the growing list of adversaries. At least we'll know to keep our wits about us.
Yeah, we got a lot.
Hey, look at that enemy.
Whoa.
It's shining.
Oh man, I hope I live long enough to regret this.
Eat this! Here I come! Eat this! Not done!
Need to pull myself together. These ones can run rings around us.
Explosive ring!
Gemini Aqua!
You're finished!
Mega Ray!
Damn it! Too fast!
Stand back! I'll trip it up. Another incantation ruin.
On your way!
Eat dead! Mega Ray!
Here I come!
Annihilate! Here's the healing art!
No escape! Ignite!
You're dead.
You're mine! Catapult!
I'm all set up!
Elusive being!
Mega Ray!
Hitting pile! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! Not a chance! Strike! Start up! It's over! Take this! Strike!
By the power of water!
Negative gate! First cut! Talon Hurricane!
Do it!
Relay!
Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis! Do it!
Now!
Everlasting!
My exploits are bearing
Rending
fruit.
Titan fan. Okay, so we got that. Just a matter of getting the monies. Whoa! Giant manti.
Take this! Eat this! Dragon Swarm!
Here's the healing art!
Hold nothing back!
Healing Hurricane! Need to pull myself together.
Dragon Swarm!
Here's the evil!
Now I'm in the groove! Explosive ring! Seismic Talon! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Water!
Well, he just went here. He ain't got a core.
We're not done!
Here's the evil!
Double Demon Fang! This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me!
Got it! I'll leave it to you! Rising Wyvern! Burn it down! Here I come! Dragon Swarm!
Resonate with the earth!
Try this!
Stalagmite!
I really know you would.
Here's the evil!
Sorry,
You're finished!
You do the same for me.
Not a chance! Escape!
Need to pull myself together.
Here I come! Catapult! Double Demon Fang! Watch it!
Out of ammo!
Double Demon Fang! Here I come! Hurricane Thrust!
You'll find no mercy!
I'll grind you into the fray!
Eat this! Talon Hurricane! Soda! Hurricane Thrust! Searing Gale!
It's too much! Behold! The earth pulse!
Tectonic vision!
Will this help? Ready to go! Talon Hurricane!
I couldn't make it in time.
I'll tear you apart! If it's in the sky, it's mine!
Does it! From beyond, imbued
I'll
with
heal you all!
Dragon Shout!
Healing circle!
Incantation ruined!
You're mine! I don't even know the word defeat. I'll bring you back from death's abyss!
You're mine!
I'll bring you back from death's
Dragon
abyss!
Form!
I'll tear you apart! I've taken too much damage! A new leaf on life!
Now you see what I can... I'm on a roll now! On your knees!
It's time to finish this! Die! Consuming wildfire! Here, let me help. First dragon
Here I come!
That frickin' does it! Radiant here! I won't give up!
You'll pay for that! This one's all mine! Swallow here! I'm not done!
I can handle it!
Roll with light! Dragon Form!
Get away!
Heal!
Eat
Dragon Form!
Annihilation!
I'm on it!
Mega Ray!
Try this!
I'll heal you all!
Explosive ring! Catapult! I'm on it!
Healing
Now it's in the groove!
I'll let you all down.
It's over!
I'm only getting started.
You're mine!
Then handle this.
Burn! Here I come!
Resuscitation!
Double Demon Fang! No rest for the wicked. Dragon Swarm!
Ready to go!
Elusive Deity! Explosive Ring! From beyond!
this help?
Here I come! Imbue this vanquished soul with light! Try harder! Now! You're
This
mine!
one's mine!
No escape! You'll stop! Don't pay for that! Here I come! You're mine! Take to the fray! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
I'll heal you all!
Prepare to be sealed! Inspiration!
A new lease on life!
Here I come! Double Demon Fang! Stay away from my friend! From beyond, imbue this Dragon Swarm!
I've let you all down.
Resuscitation! Benediction light!
What was I thinking?
Heal! Try harder! My turn! Benediction light!
A new lease on life!
Burn! Heal! Here I come! It's over!
Lunar corruption!
Double Demon Fang!
Watch and sweep!
Burn!
Mega
Dragon
Ray!
Swarm!
Nothing now!
Benediction light!
There!
You're mine!
Into the shadows!
Ready and ready!
Lightning! Down!
This it!
Don't give up! Lunar corruption!
I'm ready! Rinwell! Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis! Remember to tell me if you need healing.
I expect you'll be in high... demand, if that's the case.
Oh, we got another one of the remains we can get. Oh, shit.
Gotta break through! For my lord! I'll smash you! No further! It's over! I'll punch that gun at your hand! I see one, eh?
That'll bring you down.
Here I come! An astral arts?
That's my cue.
Shut him down! Rising Armor! Lunar Rondo! This one's all mine!
Healing circle.
Take this!
Lunar corruption.
Double Demon Fang! Here I come!
Lightning.
Strike! Burn! Here I come!
Here.
Tear!
First aid.
Thanks! My turn! Elusive Deity! Now! Here I come! Stun us!
Easy ensnaring to me.
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! Take this! Lewis! I'm on deity! Here I come! In a bind? I'm not done! I'm just getting started! Cannonball! Burn! Lewis, get it! I'm on it! Lewis, get it! Eagle Fly! Dragon Swarm! Double this one's all mine! In an instant! Impact Block! Now!
Take it!
Let them go!
Into the shadows! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished! I can feel my power growing!
One of these things got a dark name.
Get lost!
A scream.
You got spirit! Rending you a bloody fire! Burn in hell! Resonate with the earth! Take this! I won't show you any mercy! Now
You know what? We gotta change up some of these things because darkness ain't it.
Demon Fang! Dragon Swarm!
Lightning!
Away! Here I come! I'm not done!
Eat this!
Watch it's over!
Mega
You're
Ray!
mine! Here I come! Rising Wyvern! Talon Storm! You're mine! I'm not done!
I'm all stuffed
Take
up!
this!
Mega Ray!
Here I come! I'm not
Oh, we didn't even call that shit.
Dragon Swarm! It's time! Try this!
Here I go!
Resonate with the earth!
Starting!
Take this! Not here! Strike! Rising Wyvern! I'm not done! That's enough! Starter!
Need to pull myself together. Mega Ray! Do it! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished! Not again! I'm not done! Swallow Blade!
Do it!
Shield!
This one's got your name on it!
Acid to acid!
I've been doing really great lately.
Pineapple gel.
Those soldiers don't seem to have any qualms about attacking on...
Oh, here we go, another one of these.
An opponent like this should be easy. Eat this! You're mine!
You know what? Hold up. We'll switch this around.
As if the normal creatures... Crawlies aren't disgusting enough.
Prepare to be sealed!
Appreciate the help.
Dragon Swarm!
One more!
Dragon Blade!
This one's mine.
Dragon Swarm!
Lightning and
Inferno crossing.
Explosive Ray!
Holy Glimmer! Holy
Dragon Swarm!
A charge like that can easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop it.
Here I come! Lewis!
Blazing Supernova! Raging Cascade! Hang foot! Mega Ray! Dance in the wind! In here!
Will this help? Here
I'll
goes.
be saving this one! Healing Soul!
Flaming Meteor!
Raging
I owe you
Storm!
one
More
for
where
that.
that came from! Searing Flame! Reload!
On guard.
Searing Flame! Reload!
Will this help?
Lightning! Raging Cascade!
On guard.
Healing in here! I'll be saving this one! Dance in the wind!
Far enough.
this! Explosive ring! Take this!
Aw, two shots and over. You made me angry. That was a bad idea.
Here's a healing arm.
No escape!
First aid!
This one's
Double
mine.
demon fang!
One more.
Lightning condemn!
Glacial spear. Here's the evil. Inferno
In a
buffet.
bind?
Illuminate!
I'll take you all on. Ha! Flare Demolisher! Here, let me
Here I
help.
come! Double demon fang!
Into the fray.
Lightning
Double demon
condemn!
fang!
And that's my will!
Going in.
Flare tornado! Here's a healing arm!
No escape!
Going in.
You're mine!
That's it.
Double demon fang!
Hurricane. Going in. Take
Double
this.
demon fang!
Going in.
No escape! The flame inside is yours to be let free!
Feel!
I'll be
saving this one!
You picked the wrong fight!
Will this help? I'm gone.
I'm knocked up!
Hurricane strike.
Double demon fang!
Radiant blood!
Vacuum blade! Dragon
Now
form!
pull myself together. Glacial
Annihilation!
Explosive ring!
shattering nothing. Pieces.
Attack time! Illuminate the dark!
Hurricane strike.
I'm knocked up!
Look sharp. Take this.
I'm all stuck up!
Switch to
Annihilation!
Flaming meteor.
Take this!
Inferno cluster.
Double demon fang! You're finished! Dragon form! Try this! Explosive ring!
Far enough.
Air thrust!
Here, let me help.
Here I come! No escape!
Radiant blood! Here!
Where are you going? Hurricane strike. Here it
Is this it?
Don't give up.
In the wind!
It's time to finish this. Die. Consuming wildfire.
Not done yet!
Guardian field.
I owe you one!
Shining Hero!
Down. You're on.
Lightning condemn! I'm all stuck up! Illuminate the
Here I come! Dragon
Great
form!
shot! We land!
Try this! Explosive ring!
Hurricane strike.
Corruption!
Rising Wyvern!
Here's the power of water!
Take this.
Here's annihilation!
I'm not done!
Switch the wind! Here! Now!
Here.
Astral energy!
Say no more!
With this, I can become even stronger.
Oh, we went backwards. We can't do that.
No further!
First
I
aid!
owe you one! Away! Not today! Take this!
Dance on the wind!
Lunar corruption!
They really don't give up, do they?
Engaging! Hold that! Crush! Take this! Tear! Hurricane form!
We'll soon see about that!
You picked the wrong fight!
Daring flame! Reload!
Crush! Double demon fang! Hold that! Dragon form! Try this! Explosive ring! Take this!
I never miss.
You're mine!
That's Rippen's head. I'm ready. Demon's descent. Flashing fang.
I'm not done! This hurt! I'm not done!
Joey, this one's got your name on it.
Ashes to action!
Now!
Eat this.
Start up!
On your way.
Eat this.
It's over!
No further!
Here I come!
Whirlwind snap. Watch this.
I'm not done! Rising Wyvern! I'm not done!
Go for it. Prepare to crumble.
Now! Here I come! Start up!
Resonate with the earth!
Only getting started. This ends now.
Consider yourself finished!
There's always room for improvement.
This thing gets maxed out instantly.
No backing. Yeah. My shield. Burn it mine. Try harder. Doesn't hurt. You're mine.
No shield can stand us against this.
Take this! I'm not done!
All finished healing. That'll bring you down.
Take it!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Take this!
Here!
Double demon fang!
Can't get out of this!
Healing circle!
Take this!
Send it to the ground!
Take this! Vacuum blade!
Resonate with the earth!
Vacuum blade!
Your incantation ruined!
Vacuum blade! There! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Here, let me help.
Double demon fang! You're mine! You're mine!
Hear my call!
Eat this! Here I
Here's a
come!
healing arm!
I can carve through now I'm in the groove!
I'm not done! It's over!
Freeze lantern!
Here I come!
Tear you apart!
I'm not done! Try harder! Now!
You see what happened there as you crossed me? Shouldn't have done that.
Astral energy!
Say no more! My turn!
Whirlwind stack! I really owe you one.
Locked and loaded! Great! My turn! I'm not done!
Tear you apart!
These bad guys really don't mess around.
This must be it. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone.
But it's just a wall. How do we get through?
Whoa, we? I thought this was Sovereigns only.
Alphen.
Yes! It opened!
Interesting. If Alphen's presence still opens the way, it would seem the Sovereign of 3 centuries ago and now are considered one and the same.
What?
What the?
Reading Rainbow. Oh, that's him.
Alphen.
You again.
Tomorrow's the spirit channeling ceremony. We'll finally play our parts as the Sovereign and Maiden. How have you been feeling?
What am I sovereign of? Shuffled from lab to lab, always treated like an experiment. Whenever they look at me, all they see is a Danon. I don't even know what their precious ceremony's for, let alone what they're going to force me to do as the Sovereign. Tell me, if we're both in the same boat, why do you seem so calm right now?
No choice. Becoming the Maiden's not something I wanted for myself. But they said Rena's prosperity depended on it. How could I say no after that?
Still, as a Renan, at least you got to decide. Good for you. Meanwhile, I was taken from my homeland. You aren't the captive one here.
It isn't right what they did to you, and I'm sorry for what it's worth. When this is over, I swear I'll help you get home. I can't do this alone. One more day.
How could I say no to that? It's not like I have any choice in the matter anyway. So, what's your name?
It's Naori. Naori Imaris. Try to remember this time.
You don't act like them. Like the other Renans, I mean. How come you treat me like a person?
Because you are. It's true we come from different worlds. But neither one of us asked to be here right now. In that sense, you and I are much the same. We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be able to talk to each other as people if we didn't see the humanity in each other. So I suppose the question you should be asking is, why wouldn't I treat you like one?
You're not like the others.
Maybe they're not like me.
Here's what we'll do. We give them their damn ceremony. You get me to Dana. That'll be the end of it. I'm taking you at your word on this. I'm trusting you, not them. Naori.
What the hell just happened?
That vision. Did everyone else see it too?
That person Alphen was speaking to, she looked exactly like Shion.
It was Naori. Naori Imaris. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
She really does look like Shion. I'm beginning to see why Alphen was so confused.
That's all very well and fine, but what did we just witness exactly? It was too real to be a mere hallucination.
It was a conversation we had 300 years ago. The night before the ceremony.
You mean all of that really happened? We just saw an episode straight out of your past?
But how is that even possible? Unless... Could this be the Red Woman's handiwork too?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
You guys didn't feel it? The moment the entrance opened, it was like a stream of Danon astral energy rushing over us.
I felt it too. And not for the first time either. It was the same sensation as back inside the wedge.
That would make sense. After all, vast amounts of Dana's astral energy were being siphoned and sent up here to Legenis. For all we know, perhaps we're close to the spot where all that energy was stored.
So you think it might have been the energy itself that was responsible for that vision we just saw? But how? And why?
We have no way of knowing. Maybe it's not even as deliberate as all that.
Shion, you okay?
Yeah. It was all just a little sudden. That's all. So that was my ancestor, huh? It was like looking into a mirror.
Yeah, there certainly is a resemblance.
What about you? How are you holding up?
Me?
Even putting aside the question of where that vision came from, it's likely we'll see more of those. Reliving painful episodes from your past. Do you think you can handle it?
I can't just pretend like the past never happened. Besides, if it helps us uncover the truth of what that ceremony really was, it might also lead to answers about your thorns.
Alphen.
That's not all. This whole time, we've been fighting to free Dana from the Renans. But now that we're here, it seems those same Renans might have it just as bad. I'd like to liberate them too, if I can. which is just another reason I can't afford to shield my eyes from the truth.
Whether you're on Dana or somewhere else, you always stay the same. Your indignation and righteous passion, your desire to free and protect, they're all hardwired into you. Not that I'm complaining. Come on, let's bust this thing wide open.
Nobody's here.
Stay sharp. After that last illusion, there's no telling what could happen in here.
Sorry about that. Alright, now we can get back to this.
Faria, how did you get in here?
Wait, something about her isn't right.
What's wrong with her? She doesn't even seem to know where she is.
Yeah,
she's possessed.
You're right. She looks just like the soldiers we encountered outside.
She's a possessed. Is that the Renaissance? Oh shit. It's giving dark energy vibes. Oh, she's summoning something. A creature with a core for a face. And it got 6 arms.
A summoning?
But that's preposterous. She never had that kind of power when...
We can talk later. Here it comes!
Oh, damn. Tormented limbs.
What? I've never known... Goes like that before?
How about with a stone that looks suspiciously like a master core?
What the? Where did she get her hands on that?
First we handled the Zugals, then we kept some answers. Aim for the weak spot.
Lunar corruption!
Here I come! Lewis, the flame inside me, yours to be let free. First strike! Strike! Burn!
Healing circle!
Take this!
There you are!
Pull myself together.
That's...
Try this!
I'm just getting stuck. Here, let me help. Where are you going?
I'm not done!
Charge like that can easily do fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop.
I'm just getting ready. Here, watch it.
No escape! Dragon Swarm! There! First strike! Talon Hurricane! Eagle Dive! Talon Storm! Catapult!
Look at Rush, she doing that.
This is some punishment.
You'll pay for that!
Lunar corruption!
Vacuum blade!
By the power of water!
You're finished!
I'll bring you back
You're
from
mine!
bit to bit!
Dragon Swarm!
Resuscitation!
It's on!
I'll heal you all!
Explosive ring! I'm not
Oh.
myself together. Tectonic
Take
punch!
this!
Gemini Onslaught!
No escape! Double
Annihilation!
Demon Fang!
Searing Flame!
Talon Hurricane!
I'll heal you all!
Take this! I'm not done! I'll finish you here and now!
Sorry, trouble.
Eat dirt! I'm on it! Thanks! Crunch you! Dragon Storm! Talon Storm! Vacuum Blade! Captivity! Away! Catapult! Dragon Swarm! Vacuum Blade!
What's this?
You're mine!
Healing Circle!
Captivity!
That's the spot.
Dragon Swarm!
Talon Hurricane!
really owe you one.
Annihilation! It's weakened!
Dragon Form! This ends now! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! Benediction Light. Here I come!
Healing Circle!
I really Dragon Form! Not done! You're finished!
That'll bring you down!
No escape!
Armor won't save you! Air pressure!
You're mine!
Mega Ray! Gemini Alpha!
You're mine! Burn in hell!
Swallow Dance!
That always knocks him down. Hope that core don't get rebuilt before we get a chance to do a good bit of damage. That thing pops up like...
Do it!
Kisara! All yours, Kisara!
Radiant Light! Reload!
Dragon Form! Talon Hurricane!
Rachel Spear! Pierce the evil!
Oh shit.
Try to dodge!
This ain't happening so damn long. I forgot they said that this can possibly happen.
I'm not done! Try harder! Not again! No! Stay away from my friend! No further!
By the power of water!
Take this!
Lightning!
Resonate with the earth!
I'll bring you back from death!
Dragon
If it's in the sky, it's mine!
Air pressure! Another incantation through it! This one's all mine!
Steering flare!
Dragon
I won't give up!
down! Benediction Light! Double Demon Fang! Try harder! Not a chance! Try harder! Not a chance! Strike! Dragon Form! Explosive ring!
Back into the flare!
Here I come! Strike! Double Demon Fang!
Steering flare!
Let me free you of your power! I'm not done yet! I really owe you one!
Will this help?
Inspiration!
I can do this all day! Dirt!
Try harder! I owe you one! I'm not that freaking does it! Burn! First strike!
I'll heal you!
I'll tear you apart! Talon Sword! Dragon Form!
Healing circle!
Seismic Rupture! Blow away!
That's
Here I come! It's over!
Come on, all good.
Ready?
I owe you.
Strike!
Now you see what I
can do! You're
Annihilation!
finished!
These fists
has got your name on them! Swallow Dance! I'll finish you here and now! Explosive ring! Now it's my turn!
Need to pull myself together.
I really owe you one! You're mine!
Where are you going?
Watch this! Here I come!
Here, let me help.
It's over! Here I come! Dragon Form!
Steering flare!
Damn it.
Forgive me. This is my fault. Now
Healing circle!
I'm on! Imbue this Talon Hurricane!
Pull myself together. Will this help?
I'm just getting started! Take this!
Healing circle!
Dragon Form! Shattering my pieces!
Not in your dreams!
Almost there! Or close enough. Take it away, Law. I thought you'd never ask.
Steering flame! Reload!
Flame inside me, yearns to be let free. Ignite! Slap it! Try this! Seismic Rupture! Explode Flare! You're mine!
Death Blossom!
Strike! Here I come! Count it! Stardust! I owe you one. Stardust! It's gonna attack!
Right, watch
Can't
out!
get out of this! Stardust! Watch it!
Gemini Alpha!
Here's the healing! Not my finest. I couldn't make it in time.
If it's in the sky, it's mine!
On your knees.
Resuscitation!
Take this!
Dragon
Form! Stalagmite!
Healing circle!
Tear you apart! Is this it? Here we go again!
Water, hear my call!
From beyond!
Spread!
Imbue this
Laser
vengeful
Spear!
soul!
Here's the evil!
Benediction!
Laser Spear! Here's the evil! Freeze Lancer!
Now that's where it does it! Resonate with the earth!
I'll bring you back from
Blow
death!
away!
Resuscitation! Here's a healing!
save you! I'll heal you all!
No escape!
Resonate with the earth!
Healing you!
All fitted you here and
I'm
now!
not done! Dragon Swarm!
I won't give up! Behold!
Oh, he did now.
Tectonic vision!
Ready to go!
You're mine! Dragon Swarm!
Now we're not...
Damn it! Here I come! Dragon Swarm!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Treacherous? Yes. Enjoyable? Absolutely.
Now it's just her! Varia, can you hear me? Varia!
She's preparing another summoning!
The art she's casting is way too powerful to control. At this rate, her body won't be able to take much more. Dohalim!
Forgive me.
Gut punch. Works every time.
Man, I thought we were goners.
Everything okay?
Yes. She's only unconscious.
Not her. I meant you.
Shion, please. Can you treat her?
I can try, but I can't promise she'll be back to her real self when she wakes up. All I can do is heal her physically.
We're not even supposed to be in here. Maybe it'd be better if we moved her to somewhere a little safer. Don't you think?
In that case...
I'll take her off your hands.
You?
Avakir, what are you doing here?
I was curious what you were up to, so I took the liberty of following you to find out. I overheard what you said about Tarnigan, about how he really died. I'm sorry, I had no idea.
And you believed me? What makes you so sure I wasn't lying?
I like to think I know you a little better than that, Dohalim. Give me some credit. I'll take Faria. Leave her with me. I know better than to ask what you're up to. But whatever it is, I hope it all works out.
Thank you.
He seems like a good friend.
He hasn't changed. He never was one to stand out. Instead, he was always hanging back, worrying about everyone else. As for Faria, it's always the closest to me who get hurt.
You don't seriously blame yourself for what happened to her, do you?
Somebody got to her, to strike back at me. Someone who knew me well enough to know that I'd hesitate to fight back. And the same goes for you as well. Neither you nor Faria would have lost loved ones, if it wasn't for me.
You're wrong. Kelzalik was the one who killed my brother, under orders from Almadria. As for Tarnigan, if it weren't for the crown contest, he'd still be alive. That and the whole damn hierarchy that makes it possible. But that's why we're fighting. To put an end to this whole messed up system that treats people as expendable.
Indeed. Ridding society of this blight is really the only way I know how to atone for my sins.
You can't atone, Dohalim. I know it hurts to hear, but those people are dead. No amount of soul-searching or trying to make amends is going to change that. Forgiveness, acceptance, those ships have sailed.
So I just forget the harm I caused?
No, the opposite, in fact. You remember. You never forget. You keep it in your heart always. And then you go on living. Not for those already passed, but for those still alive.
For those still alive.
Kisara's right. So long as we've still got breath in our bodies, we can make a difference in the lives of others. Lives being the operative word.
That's what living's all about. Being able to still make a difference. Punishing yourself for the past won't make the pain of your conscience go away.
Only fixing the problem in its stead. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. You have to live for tomorrow, Dohalim, not for yesterday. And not only that, you need to live for yourself, and for the change that you still can be.
I shall try.
Don't forget, we've still got a mystery to solve. The Forbidden Zone, remember?
Shion.
Huh?
Thank you. You have my deepest gratitude for what you did for Faria.
Glad to be of service.
I'm glad we could stop Faria without hurting her.
You all did much for her as well. I'm most grateful.
Oh, shucks. We're on the same team, right? Let's move on. Tell me, Dohalim, has that skill of yours got a name?
And what skill would this be, pray tell?
You know, when you're talking to people around town. The way they suddenly become putty in your hands.
I'm afraid I don't quite follow.
I do. It's called friendly intimidation. Look imposing and speak in a deep, booming voice, and presto, you'll have people wrapped around your finger in no time.
I would never stoop to such scandalous tricks. Any feelings of intimidation are solely in the eye of the beholder.
So there is a knack to it! How do you learn it? Can anyone do it?
Now you've got me curious. Is there special training to master?
Let's see. An obsession with being elegant is a must. Oh, and it helps to be old-fashioned, too. Bonus points if you speak in a way no one can understand.
If you've a bone to pick with me, it'd be quicker to just come out and say it.
What? They look up to you, that's all. I'm just helping them along.
Hey! What's got into Alphen and Law all of a sudden?
I can barely understand a word they're saying. And what's with the weird poses? Was it something they ate?
I hope you're willing to take the blame for this one.
I wasn't expecting them to take me so seriously. I'll go and have a word with them.
Beat the hell out of that thing for whatever it was worth.
What is it, Rinwell? Do you hear something again?
Yeah. It's that voice.
The will of Dana's astral energy.
What? There's so much astral energy. But where's it all coming from? It's almost like it's alive.
That was the spirit channeling ceremony just now. No, it was more than that.
What the hell was that? It felt like everything was on the brink of... like the whole world was seconds from...
Oblivion. It's the same vision as the one my thorns show me. A vision of impenetrable darkness that swallows up us and everything else.
An empty void. A nothing so complete and dominating that there aren't even words to describe it. The end of time.
The visions of the apocalypse you've been seeing. If I'd known how bad they were,
So, everything we just saw, those were Naori's memories, right?
That's right. It was as if her innermost thoughts were speaking directly to us. At least I know they weren't mine.
That power flowing into her... it reminds me of Xion's thorns. If they're what's responsible for all these visions she's been having, then maybe...
Maybe my thorns are made from that same astral energy?
If that is the case, we just found the missing link between your thorns and what happened here 3 centuries ago. No, more than a link. Perhaps even the very heart of the matter.
I've never felt astral energy so powerful. What was that?
If it's the same energy your thorns are made of, it must be dark astral energy, right? And isn't that something only Renans have?
Correct. Dark astral energy is possessed by Renans alone.
And when enough astral energy gathers together, it develops its own form of sentience. If so, maybe that complete oblivion is exactly what the Renan astral energy's will is wishing for. But why?
I don't know. Will can be a pretty vague thing to nail down. It's more of a feeling, just like the will of Dana.
But the will of Dana is made up of astral energy too, right? And if that's what's been showing us these visions... I don't know, should we really be getting so involved with this thing?
Dana's will would never want oblivion.
But you can't say that for sure.
Cut it out, you two. Squabbling over theories will get us nowhere.
Let's keep moving. If it's Dana's will showing us these memories, then I'm as clueless about its motives as any one of us. But if it could lead us to the truth, then I want to find out more.
Xion's right. All we can do is keep going. If these really are Naori's memories we're watching, there could be truths in them I was never aware of. And I think they may be the kinds of truths I need to confront if we're going to keep fighting.
I'm sorry about what I said earlier. Come on, let's go.
Finally, we begin to understand what the thorns are.
Yes, and their source. A ceremony that occurred 3 centuries ago.
But we still don't know how to get rid of them. I just hope we can find a way. Soon, we might very well learn the truth behind Xion's thorns, as well as my own past. I have to be ready to face anything. Whatever happens. I just need a little time first. I want to make sure I go...
Alright, we gotta go build these weapons. I'm not gonna go through that just yet. Build these weapons first.
We've reached our destination.
I wonder. Give me 1 second. I don't mind if I got to. I'm gonna check this out right now. Why is this thing acting slow? You know what? Give me a minute. Give me 1 minute.